let's roll.
3, 2, 1.
In this video I am going to show you top 10 FPS games for low-end PCs. In order to run all of the above 10 games, you need a PC with at least 2 GB RAM and a dual-core processor. So before we get started, make sure to subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon. Leave a like on this video for 7 days of amazing luck. Just try it. Every game in the list is personally played by me. Note that the games in the list are not in order comparing its visuals. Every game is in a random spot. So now let's get started. On number 10 spot, we have the Medal of Honor 2010. It has both multiplayer online as well as single-player offline mode. Medal of Honor is a first-person shooter video game. Takes place during the war in Afghanistan. The game is loosely based on parts of Operation Anaconda. Gameplay focuses on portraying operations in Afghanistan. Typical in-game objectives include raiding enemy hideouts, hostage rescues and undercover operations. The modification of Unreal Engine 3.0 allows players to slide to cover and other combat moves. Players can request ammo from teammates in the single-player campaign. Though this is limited, Medal of Honor's multiplayer was developed by EA DICE. Gameplay features 2 opposing sides. The Coalition, usually referred by the in-game battle chatter to as Python 1-inch, against the opposing forces. The Coalition troops use American equipment such as the M16A4, M4A1, M21, AT4 and M9 pistol, while the opposing forces represent forces similar to the Taliban and use according equipment such as the AK-47, AK-74U, SVD, RPG-7 and Tariq pistol. Each weapon is designed to have a counterpart on both teams, although that counterpart may or may not have the same stats. Initially, the weapons are team-specific. However, as the player progresses, they will unlock weapons that are available for both sides, as well as unlocking the ability to use enemy weapons. Once reaching level 8 in any one class, the player is considered Tier 1 and assumes a different appearance. And when killed, the Tier 1 player's killer receives 5 extra points for killing a Tier 1 player. This is a super underrated game, and it's definitely worth a try. On number 9 spot, we have The Line of Sight. This is a free-to-play multiplayer online first-person shooter video game, developed by a small independent studio, that tries to deliver awesome and unique features, such as detailed character and weapon customization. Line of Sight takes place in a modern military setting in a twisted reality. Our unique abilities will enable you to have a unique and blasting game experience. However, if you are a classic military-styled fan, the core is built on a classic shooter experience, and ESP/PSY abilities are an optional room setting. Whatever playstyle you prefer, they got your back. Like BioShock, the game features superhuman abilities. It also offers players a pure military FPS experience and a classic mode in which players can play the game like any traditional online FPS. For more serious or pro players, the game features class ranking, clan and league systems, and features needed for esports play. This game requires only 2 GB RAM minimal. The game has the same modern military theme as the original Combat Arms, but hopes to stand out among the crowded FPS field with 2 unique features. The first is highly detailed weapon customization, and the second is a variety of superhuman skills including calling down comets. Combat Arms, Line of Sight will join 2 other recent shooters from Nexon, including Ghost in the Shell Online and Dirty Bomb. This game also features a battle royale mode similar to PUBG, and modes like Team Deathmatch, Free for All, etc., so definitely worth the try. On number 8 spot, we have the Arma 2. It features both online multiplayer as well as offline single-player. It is an open-world, military simulation video game. Arma 2 is a tactical shooter focused primarily on infantry combat, but significant vehicular and aerial combat elements are present. The player is able to command AI squad members, which adds a real-time strategy element to the game. This is further enhanced by the high command system, which allows the player to command multiple squads using the map. Arma 2 is set primarily in the fictional Eastern European state of Chernaris. Arma 2 features around 80 realistically represented weapons with many variants including assault rifles, machine guns, and missile launchers. With realistically simulated ballistics, there are around 130 vehicle variants, and any vehicle that exists in-game can be controlled by the player, including civilian cars, tractors and bicycles. Similarly, all aircraft encountered in the game can be flown by the player, with limited fuel and realistic weapon loadouts. Arma 2's single-player campaign takes place in late 2009, in the province of South Zagoria in the northeastern region of the fictional post-Soviet state of Chernaris, as well as the remote Chernorashian island of Utes. South Zagoria is approximately 225 square kilometers. The game also has a workshop mode called PlayerUnknown's Battle Royale, which is the origin of the game PUBG. So if you love military simulation games, Arma 2 is worth the try. On number 7 spot we have 𝐞𝐬. 𝐞𝐬 is a first-person shooter multiplayer online video game. The gameplay of 𝐞𝐬 consists of players attempting to kill more of their opponents than any other player or team in a given match. This is achieved by navigating a 3D environment and shooting other players with a variety of weapons, while collecting health, armor, weapons, ammo and various power-ups. As players get more advanced, they use other tricks and techniques such as rocket and strafe jumping. For now there are 15 game modes to choose from, including Free-for-All and Deathmatch. Free-for-All mode or TDM, where players start with only a railgun. There are no power-ups around the map. That is health, ammo, weapons. Insta-Gib servers are unranked. Insta-Gib is one shot, one kill. This is one of the games that can really improve your aim. Nothing to say more. So it's definitely worth a try. On number 6 spot we have the Battlefield Bad Company 2. Battlefield Bad Company 2 is a first-person shooter video game, which features both a multiplayer online as well as single-player offline mode. The game is primarily a squad-level first-person shooter based in a contemporary modern warfare setting. Additionally, the game includes a single-player campaign, where the player reassumes the role of Preston Marlowe, the protagonist of the original game. While Bad Company 2 is primarily a first-person shooter, it follows other games in the series by allowing the player to control certain vehicles, including ATVs, APCs, tanks, and helicopters. On foot, players are given access to a variety of real-world small arms such as assault rifles and machine guns. Players can also jump, crouch, and sprint. They can carry one primary weapon and a pistol in multiplayer, or two primary weapons in single player, as well as grenades and other equipment. Players can fire from the hip, but zooming and using iron sights, reflex sights, or telescopic sights. Multiplayer is class-based, with 4 classes: Assault, Engineer, Medic, and Recon. Each class has a variety of unique weapons and equipment, and serves a specific role in combat. There are also some weapons that can be used by any class, such as pistols and shotguns. Each class gains experience and levels up separately. So you already know what Battlefield is up to, so worth a try. On number 5 spot we have the Sniper Ghost Warrior 2. Sniper Ghost Warrior 2 is a tactical shooter video game. This is single-player offline only. Game consists of hand-to-hand assassinations and titular sniping techniques. Gameplay features realistic bullet physics that factors distance, wind, and bullet drop when sniping targets. The game starts with player taking control of U.S. Marine Captain Cole Anderson in the Philippines, with CIA Special Agent Diaz making their way to an old Russian radar post to destroy it while working on a tip that some mercenaries had assembled there to broker a deal for a biological weapon. While Diaz destroys it, he overhears enemy radio chatter about the capture of a spy working for the PSC by the mercenaries. Diaz commands a team to rescue the operative while Anderson makes his way to provide covering fire from a cave overlooking the resort, where the soldier is being held captive and where the supposed deal is scheduled to take place. They save the soldier. However, while monitoring the deal, Anderson sees one of the dealers to be Murnov, and no acquaintance from his past. and subsequently the entire team is ambushed by an enemy sniper and everyone except Anderson is either killed or captured. Anderson heads to a village to intercept the transfer of the bioweapon as well as his captured teammates, so try it if you want to. On the number 4 spot we have Payday 2. Payday 2 is a cooperative first-person shooter video game. It has both multiplayer online and single-player offline mode. The game consists of a variety of heists that a player can opt to either carry out by themselves, with the AI, or as part of a multiplayer game. There are heists such as bank robberies, drug trafficking runs, rigging an election, or stealing smuggled nuclear warheads. Some of the heists put a large emphasis on stealth, often leading to bonus experience points and money on completion, and certain heists can only be done in stealth. The level selection menu is styled as a fictional website, crime.net, where missions pop up periodically as contracts. In a map of Washington, the player can pick up an open contract, join a contract another player has started, or buy a contract with in-game money in an offshore bank account. There are 7 difficulty levels: normal, hard, very hard, overkill, mayhem, death wish, and death sentence, formally 1 down, with increased money and experience payouts for higher difficulty levels. Currently there is an option to enable the 1 down function on any difficulty, meaning that players can only go down once before going into custody. Independent of difficulty was the pro job condition. Pro jobs give additional experience, but cannot be retried if the players fail. Pro jobs were later removed in an update. Some contracts in Payday 2 take place over multiple days, with each day represented by a separate level with different objectives. After certain days of heists are completed in loud, in which the alarm has sounded, the game may add an escape level, where the player's original escape is thwarted and they must survive to reach their backup getaway. So if you are interested in bank robberies in video games, this is worth a try. On the number 3 spot we have the BioShock Infinite. It is offline single-player only. BioShock Infinite is a first-person shooter video game. Infinite is the 3rd installment in the BioShock series, and though it is not immediately part of the storyline of previous BioShock games, it features similar gameplay concepts and themes. The game is set in the year 1912 and follows its protagonist, former Pinkerton agent Booker DeWitt, who is sent to the airborne city of Columbia to find a young woman, Elizabeth, who has been held captive there for most of her life. Though Booker rescues Elizabeth, the two become involved with the city's warring factions, the nativist and elite founders that rule Columbia and strive to keep its privileges for white Americans, and the Vox Populi, underground rebels representing the underclass of the city. During this conflict, Booker learns that Elizabeth possesses strange powers to manipulate tears in the space-time continuum that travels Columbia, and soon discovers her to be central to the city's dark secrets. The player controls Booker DeWitt throughout the game, eventually working with the AI-controlled Elizabeth. Like previous BioShock games, the player uses a combination of weapons, clothing called gear that offer unique attributes, and psychokinetic powers granted through vigors. So if you love storyline-based fast-paced shooter games, you can give this game a try. On the number 2 spot we have the DayZ Standalone. It features both online multiplayer as well as offline single-player server. DayZ is a realistic tactical open-world shooter survival video game. The goal of DayZ is to stay alive and healthy during the conditions of the zombie outbreak that have befallen the in-game world. The player begins equipped with only simple clothes, a glow stick and 4 rags, and must begin exploring the large 225 square kilometers landscape of the fictional former Soviet Republic of Chernobyl to investigate locations such as houses, barns, and apartments to scavenge supplies. These supplies include food and water, which are basic keys to prolonging the player's life. Beyond the basics of survival, players can find various forms of clothing, which not only allow them to customize their characters, but can bring the benefit of extra storage space for supplies and warmth. While traveling around the game, players can also find various medical supplies as the environment poses a range of threats to their characters. Planned features include diseases such as cholera, dysentery and hepatitis, which can be caught by ingesting dirty water or rotten food and must be cured with the appropriate medicines. If a player is shot or otherwise hurt, items on their person may be damaged. The player may also start bleeding and must be bandaged quickly to minimize blood loss. Excessive damage or blood loss will result in serious deterioration of vision for the player and can render them unconscious. So this is realistic as hell, so worth a try. On the number 1 spot we have the Call of Duty Black Ops 2. A list of FPS games cannot stand without a Call of Duty game. It has both online multiplayer as well as offline single-player mode. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 is a 2012 first-person shooter. Black Ops 2 is the first Call of Duty video game to feature branching storylines, in which the player's choice affects both the current mission and in turn, the overall course of the story, known as Strike Force missions. These branching storylines appear during the 2025 storyline and feature permanent death. The success or failure of these missions can have ramifications for the wider campaign storyline. Choosing one of the missions locks out the others unless the player begins a fresh campaign. One of the biggest changes added to multiplayer in Black Ops 2 is the introduction of Pick 10. A new system within the Create a Class menu. Pick 10 gives the player a total of 10 allocation slots in a class, which are used for guns, perks, grenades, etc. The player can choose to allocate the slots however they like, to either have more attachments for a gun, or more perks. Kill streaks from previous Call of Duty games are renamed as score streaks, which are now earned by gaining points, rather than kills. This allows the player to focus on objective modes, which also earn points towards score streaks. Unlike past games, weapons in Black Ops 2 have a progression system, which is used to unlock weapon attachments. After maxing out a weapon's level, the player can choose to prestige the gun, similar to how they can prestige the player level, and reset their attachment progress. In exchange, the player can customize their weapons with custom clan tags and emblems. So you know what Call of Duty is, so worth a try. So guys, thank you so much for watching. This was a pretty damn long video, so no shout-outs for today. Next time it's gonna be a sure thing. Don't forget the giveaway and like, subscribe, share. Okay, with all due respect, love your parents, respect your country, stay home and stay safe, and most importantly take care of yourselves. Goodbye.